You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Now listening to the Sports Coma Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network. I'm your host, Big Q, and I'd like to welcome y'all guys aboard to another exciting episode of the Pelican Postgame Report, episode 116. That's 116. I'd like to give a shout out to all the sports fans, the sports family that we have out there that continue to show up for us and donate. They support our sponsors as well as subscribe to our feeds and follow our show. For all of you guys that share our show and all of the support, I'd like to give you a round of applause at this time and tell you thank you. And thank you. And thank you very much for your support. And in today's Pelican Postgame Report, episode 116, we're going to do our best to cover four very interesting matchups by the Pelicans. It's been a couple of weeks, maybe a week or so since the last time we did a Pelican post-game report. We've been on vacation. We back now and ready to hit the hardwood and go at it. So the Pelicans they had four games that since our last podcast that we covered, and we'll cover them all here today in our customarily manner. The Pelicans lost to Utah 114-108. We're going to cover that, as well as the Pelican win over Portland 123-116. The Pels lost to Golden State 125-115. And the Pels win over Denver 123-114. We'll cover all of those today in this 40-minute podcast with stats, facts, and breakdowns and interviews from Al Gentry, DeMarcus Cousins, and whomever. So welcome aboard, like I said before, and we're going to get right into it. Now, the Pelicans, the last podcast I had covering the Pelicans, I said going into it that I think the Pelicans, prepare yourself, because I think the Pelicans are going to drop 6 in a row. That wasn't the case. The Pelicans actually, coming off the first loss to the Warriors, and I mean first loss, that's after that Suns the big win over the Suns on the West Coast road trip, where they were blown out by the Golden State Warriors 110-95. Then they were blown out by the Timberwolves by 18. Then they were beat by the Jazz 114-108, and they started on a 3-game trend. And I said, you know what? They could very well lose 6 in a row. And I said it at the time, the last podcast what we had when they were already on a 2-game winning streak. But lo and behold, the Pelicans did not go on a 6-game losing streak. They actually finished those last 6 games 2-4. So they did win 2. They were able to beat They were able to beat a Trailblazer team in a surprising fashion without Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, who customarily plays well against the Timberwolves. He was able to get things done. And also he showed up again for the Nuggets in major fashion, having a 40-20 game, 40 points, 20 rebounds plus game. And we're going to get into that game as well. But this team has been the literal up and down roller coaster 500 middling team that I thought they would be. I was hoping Rondo, and they're still working that relationship out. But anytime you have a team that scores 109 points a game, that's good for 6th in the entire NBA out of 30 teams. Now they have 26 assists a game. That's second best in the NBA. They even have 44 rebounds a game. That's good for middle of the pack at 14th. But what really hurts them is that 3 teams from the bottom, as far as the points allowed, their defense suck. They allow 110 points a game. That's good for 27th. You're 3 from the bottom. You can't score 109 points a game and then let somebody score 110 points a game. You're not going to win games that way. And that explains why the Pelicans are a middling team around that 13-12 mark. But first game we're going to jump right into is the Utah matchup. Well, the Utah Jazz was able to handle business. This was the last game before Anthony Davis had gotten injured. He got the pelvic injury that he had, and he was pretty much out of this game for the rest of those contests. And he scored 19 points, had 10 rebounds in the game. The Pelicans overall, this team that they played, they were without Rudy Gobert, they were without Rodney Hood. That's two of their best players. But yet a young rookie by the name of Donovan Mitchell, you better remember it, had 41 points on 13 of 25 shooting from the field, 6 of 12 from downtown, and basically got to the hoop anytime he wanted to against that suspect New Orleans Pelicans defense. And that's what I keep saying over and over again, that the team, order for this team to be competitive, they have to play better defense. You're going to have to adjust your scheme, Alvin Gentry, so that they pay more attention to the offensive rebounds and rebounding, period. I know they average 44 a game, but offensive rebounds is something that the Pelicans don't do that well. They get one shot and they flee back in transition, and it don't do no good because usually they allow a guy to lay the ball up. So, I mean, you got to adjust that strategy. Defense is not being played. They could be a lot better free throw shooting team. They constantly leave points on the court from the free throw line. It's a trend, and then turning the ball over as much as they do, all these sort of things. But before we get into the meat and potatoes of that matchup, let's hear what Coach Al Gentry had to say after the Utah loss.
I thought we kind of let the game get away from us a little bit in the third quarter. We had the big lead, and we had some bad possessions, offensively and defensively, and they climbed back in the game, before the quarter was over. But, like I said to the guys, if you would have said that we had an opportunity to be up 4 with 12 minutes to play, we would have taken that. We just didn't finish the game. I thought they did a great job, and obviously Donovan played a great game and kept pressure on our defense the whole game, driving to the basket. And, when he didn't drive, he shooting a 3-point shot, and I think he's got a chance to be a great player.
Is there any update on Anthony?
He's got a strain going. He'll have an MRI tomorrow, and Portland is very unlikely that he'll play in Portland.
Is something like that, when that happens, your star player goes down fourth, is that deflating for the team? Is it hard to kind of rally behind that?
Well, it happens all the time in this league, and you just got to continue to play. Doesn't matter who goes down. We were in an opportunity where we had a chance to win a game, and so that's where you have to have everyone step up. And
that's Coach Alvin Gentry on a few thoughts on the loss to the Utah Jazz in Utah. Of course, Coach Al Gentry kind of somber with that loss. The Pelicans should have been able to win that game. I know we lost Anthony Davis in that game, but we got another star. We got a pretty decent personnel on this team. When AD goes down, DeMarcus has to step up. When DeMarcus goes down, Anthony Davis steps up. Rajon Rondo started to step up. But let's kind of move forward into the next contest against the Portland Trail Blazers. The Pelicans were able to get that win, 123-116 against the Portland Trail Blazers. DeMarcus Cousins shows up. He shows up in this game. He had 38 points. He was 14 of 28, 8 of 13 from the free throw line. Left a lot of points on line. Could have beat him a lot bigger than that. They shot 52% on the night against 44 for 44. Might as well say 45% if you round it off against with the Pelicans. I mean, the Trailblazers shot. The Pelicans shot 48% from the three-point line. They had 12 turnovers, a low as far as they're concerned. They out-rebounded Portland. And like I said, Damian Lillard was the top scorer. He had 29 points. But in this matchup, DeMarcus actually stepped up. He had the ability. Anthony Davis wasn't there. It was pretty much his team to command. And like we said before, Cousins has the ability to dominate when his mind's right. When you look at some of the facts we looked at dealing with the Portland Trailblazers game is the fact that they trailed by as many as 14 in the first quarter as the largest deficit of the game. They trailed by 50-43 with 4 minutes remaining in the first half. They closed on a 17-7 run, they meaning the Pelicans. They outscored Portland with a fast break 12-4. They also suffered an 11-game losing streak at Portland. New Orleans won the last 2-3 contests in the Motor Center, so they were able to get a big win against Portland in a place they don't usually win. Utah and Portland, they don't win there customarily, but thanks to not AD, I'm thinking about Anthony Davis. But despite the fact that you have players as good as DeMarcus Cousins who chimed in, who played really big in that matchup, they were able to make some stuff happen. So let's hear from Coach Al Gentry as well in that Portland matchup. Here's Gentry.
It is. Obviously we've struggled in this building, but I thought we started the game the right way. And then I thought that we did a great job defensively. And then we got separation by moving the basketball. I thought DeMarcus was great, but I thought it was really truly a team win. I thought everybody came in. Omir gave us great minutes, just to be able to relieve DeMarcus and him not play long stretches of minutes. I thought he did a great job. Dante did a great job rebounding the basketball. I just thought everybody contributed. Rondo had another double-double, so it was just a really good team win for us.
Coach, playing without Anthony Davis tonight, you had said that it would be by committee. Did you think you'd get such play out of basically anybody you put on the floor tonight?
Well, that's what we have to be able to win. We have to do that in order to win. And I thought I thought we were really focused when we went out. And, we built a lead. They cut back into it. But I did think that we did a really good job of just, standing pat. And, we gave up twos near the end of the game, but we took away the threes.
Speaking of threes, Coach, you guys benefited in the two big quarters, second and third by the three-point shot. By design, or did it just happen to go that way?
Well, it was just we had good ball movement, and we rotated the ball and found the open man, and the open man happened to be behind the three, and I thought we dropped all the threes that we shot tonight were really good threes.
That's Coach Al Gentry talking about that win in Portland. Here we're going to segue right into DeMarcus Cousins. He had a huge game against Portland, finishing the top dog in the major affair with them, putting up 30. Here's DeMarcus Cousins.
Being said, we kind of crumbled as a team the previous night. So we just try to come in with no excuses and leave it all on the floor.
What did you think about just offensively, the way that you were able to get rolling and you had a bunch of guys make threes? Kind of along the lines of what he said, it didn't seem like they were able to cut off anything as far as either the shooters or you.
Just a good team effort. I think we got the ball moving. I think we took, the best shots available. I tried to come out and be aggressive, keep pressure on their bigs. And like I said, it was just a good team effort all around.
What do you think defensively? One thing that Coach talked about was just that, Lillard and McCollum scored a decent amount of points, but they took a lot of shots.
Mm-hmm.
So defensively, you guys had to be pretty happy with how you did.
That two of the toughest guards to, defend in this league, and to even try to throw the word out there and stopping them is insane. So, just trying to contain them. Like I said, it's a tough assignment. They put so much pressure on the guards, on the bigs in the pick and roll. You can't go under. They pop them back to shoot. They blow past any big in front of them. So, they're tough covers, but a good team defense. I think we did our assignment on the defensive end to the T. Being said, we kind of crumbled as a team.
There go DeMarcus Cousins. We did our assignment to the T against the Portland Trail Blazers. And, of course, he's absolutely right about C.J. McCollum and the top guard, Damian Lillard. That backcourt is absolutely excellent. They pretty much struggled the first matchup, but ended up winning the first time they played the Pelicans a few weeks back. The Pelicans do get some revenge against the Trail Blazers and move forward into a matchup with Golden State, which is the next one on the docket. Now, Golden State was a team, and we'll talk a little bit about it before we go right into the break. But the Pelicans at this point, they lost Anthony Davis the game prior in the Utah game where they came up with the loss. Big, he suffered that left groin injury just at the start of the fourth quarter. He exited the game, and that was huge, because the Jazz pounced on him after that. The Jazz basically, they were 12 of 20 from the field in the fourth. The Pelicans were 9 of 24. Then Donovan Mitchell scored 17 of his 41 points in the final quarter for Utah, and he went on to have 41. Now, he's the first rookie to score 40 points in a game since Blake Griffin did it, and he was just on a whole nother level when it came down to scoring. He was out of his mind, and the Pelicans couldn't do too much with him, to be quite honest with you. But even with that said, the Pelicans move forward. They get the win. And at this point, they're 12 and 12, getting ready to take on the Golden State Warriors, who are at this point 9 and 6, with an 11 and 3 record on the road. When we come back on the other side of the break, we'll get into the Golden State matchup against the Pelicans. We'll hit you with some stats, facts. We'll give you some interviews. Then we'll cover the Denver Nuggets game, and then we'll preview the Sacramento game coming up Friday night. You're listening to the Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts, with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFD style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
You're listening to the Sports Coma, Pelican Post-Game Show on the PRO Media Network.
Welcome back to the Sports Coma's Pelican Post-Game Report on the PRO Media Network. I am Big Q. The previous segment, we were covering a couple of the games that the Pelicans played. Like I said, it's a 4-game show with a 4-game recap with a 1-game preview. And we covered the Pelicans lost to Utah and the Pelicans went over Portland. We're just about to start on the Pelicans loss to the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Pelicans marched into this game against the Golden State. This was home. This is supposed to be a revenge game. Now, remember, this is the 3rd game that they played Portland in a 4-game series on the entire season. And some tidbits on the game. Golden State forced 21 turnovers. There go the Pelicans again, turning the ball over. They forced 21 turnovers against the Pels, leading to 29 points. So you got the Golden State Warriors, one of the best shooting teams, the best shooting team in the NBA, and you give them 21 more chances to score. And they scored 29 points off your 21 turnovers. Very smart. New Orleans scored 22 off of 17 turnovers from Golden State's problems. or miscues. Golden State outscored New Orleans on the fast break 35-20. That's a 15-point differential. Trailing 43-42 with 7 minutes remaining in the second quarter, New Orleans closed the first half with a 26-7 run to take a 20-point lead in the intermission. New Orleans was 14 of 22 from the field in that time frame, including 6 of 11 from deep. Holiday and Rajon Rondo both combined with 20 points in that quarter, scoring 12 of 8 respectively, shooting a combined 8 of 9 from the field, including 4 of 5 from the three-point line. Golden State opened that second half on a 15-0 run before the Pelicans finally scored with 7 minutes left in the third. Golden State cut the deficit to 2 points, 78-76, before New Orleans answered back with a 13-4 run of them own to push the lead back to double digits, 91-80 with 2 minutes remaining. Golden State pushed back, closing the period. 8 unanswered points to cut the Pelicans 3 points to cut it down to 3 points heading into the final quarter. Now, trailing 105-102 with 5 minutes remaining, Golden State went on a 16-3 run and take a 118-108 lead, holding the lead for the rest of the game. Now, Golden State has now won 20 of its last 21 regular contests at that point, including 10 straight. So it's just amazing. The Pelicans were up by 20 in this matchup. 20 points. 20 points. You know, and this and be true, well, Big Q. Truth be told, they're gonna say, well, Big Q, hey, Anthony Davis wasn't there. That's not an excuse. That's not an excuse. I'm sorry, it's not. This team, to me, is a hodgepodge of parts and pieces. And the issue is, I don't know if it's the talent perspective. I think it's a flaw in the scheme. And I really do think that the scheme is holding his team back from a defensive perspective, because they should be a lot better than what they are from a defensive perspective. You know, and that's the point that I'm saying, is that if they can cut down or stop teams from averaging at least 5 points a game off of their total, the Pelicans would win a lot more games. But the problem is, many nights they lose because they turn the ball over too much. They're not a good defensive transition team. They don't defend. And I'm not saying they don't have the personnel to do it. I think Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins are two of the best defensive bigs in the game. But it's mind-blowing to me to say, well, why isn't it not translating from a statistical perspective? Why are they 1 point more in the opponent's scoring, defensive scoring against them than they are in the team scoring, offensive scoring? It's because of the transition defense. It's because of the turnovers. It's because of the fact that they leave so many points at the free throw line. All of these things culminate into the Pelicans being a middling team. And what I mean by middling, I mean a team that just mires around the 500 beacon. They might go up 2-3 games, and then they'll lose 2 or 3 games, and then they'll fall back to 500. Are we anticipating them doing this for the entire season? I would think so. That's why a lot of professionals, or supposed professionals, came out and said that the Pelicans would not even beat the Clippers to get the final 8 seed, and when they had other teams ahead of them. Now, of course, the Pelicans sitting right now at the 8th seed if the playoffs were to start today. But that's not it. They've played Golden State 3 games thus far, and they've lost all 3 games. Now, of course, we know Golden State's a tough team. Yes, they are. But if you're going to compare yourself to a championship team, they fall woefully short of being anything but. But let's listen to Coach Al Gentry, what his take is after the Golden State loss. The third loss to Golden State in his young season.
Well, I think you got to understand, that team down in the locker room down there, and they're, they don't ever think they're out of a game, and they always find a way to muster up a comeback, the thing that we talked to the guys when we left the locker room is that obviously we felt like they were going to make a run to get back in the game, but it can't be a run, a 20-2, 25-3 run or something like that. It's got to be a run where it's 10-5 or 12-6 or something like that, and we weren't able to do that. And I thought the first couple of possessions we had in the second half, kind of it wasn't the way we started the game. And we talked about starting the third quarter the way we started the game, and you got to do it with force, with hard cuts, because obviously the defensive intensity is going to get turned up, and our execution has to match that. And I thought that we had a little bit of slippage in that area right there. But they're a great team. They're the NBA champs. The thing that I keep telling our guys is that, as bad as this loss is, and I don't look at anything as a moral victory, what we keep proving is that we have the ability to play, extended minutes with the world champs. Now, what we have to do as a team is that we have to now find a way to not do it for 32 minutes or 36 minutes, but we got to do it for 48 because that's the only way you can beat that team. You got to play for 48 minutes, and you got to be able to score 120 points to beat them.
Coach, you seem like you already talked about you recognized that early in the third quarter the team wasn't playing the way it had. It seemed like there was another point.
That's actually now that's why I really like Al Gentry. I don't like his scheme, a lot of his defensive scheme, because he got him scoring in the top percentile in the NBA. But I agree wholeheartedly with what he just said. And one of the things that I have to exemplify is the fact that he's right. They're not putting in total performances. They were up by 20 points on the world champions. They could not close the deal. And the reason being, in part, because they couldn't close the deal. If you listen further in the interview, I'm going to give you at least about a minute and 50-something seconds of it. The point of the matter is DeMarcus Cousins in this game was out of his game. We expected him to show up and play this game. He was out of this game. He didn't contribute very much in this game. And we were expecting him to put up 28, 30, something like that. That would have made it a difference. But he came into this game. He was jawing with Kevin Durant. He was jawing with Draymond Green, who loves for you to jaw with him because he's a specialty in taking players out of their game by talking to him. And DeMarcus Cousins falls right into the booby trap every time. He finished the game with 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. Now that sounds good if you're Etwan Moore. Even if you Drew Holiday, I love that if you Drew Holiday or Etwan Moore or any other guy that's not named Anthony Davis or DeMarcus Cousins. With Anthony Davis out, you needed to step up and take control of this game like he did against Portland, like he did against Denver, which we'll show you after we preview this one. But consistently is the thing. Is the theme. Consistency, which this team has a maddening ability not to show. They do not show the consistency at the level that you will want a contending or perennial team, playoff perennial team to have. And looking at some of the statistics, I just ran down Cousins' number, but the top scorer of this game was Drew Holiday. And, I give Drew Holiday props when we need to, but Drew Holiday had 34 points in this game. He was 13 of 21, 4 of 11, even hit 4 or 5 of his free throws, which he struggles to do. But Drew Holiday was the man in this game. If DeMarcus Cousins would have showed up a little bit and put up a performance like he did against Portland, they might have won this game. They might have. It would have been a lot closer than 10 points. But here's Drew Holiday with his thoughts on what
I think ball movement coming down, especially a team like that where they're pretty good defensively. Just got to move the ball and take advantage of that, getting spaces, cutting, and knocking down shots. I think especially the first half, we knocked down a lot of good shots.
What was the biggest thing that kind of got away from y'all in the second half?
I think they made the run. They had a run in the first half too, and we kind of bounced back from that. But they made the run in the second half, and we couldn't bounce back. I think when we come out and execute a little bit better, I think me and Doe were talking about that, how even though we go down and some shots don't fall and they come back, any given time during the game, you got Steph, Clay, KD, somebody knock down three threes in a row. The whole momentum of the game changes. So just to be able to execute and kind of lock in defensively and offensively.
Can you talk about the turnovers tonight? You guys seem to have been able to minimize in the last few games, but then tonight you end up with 21. Were there just things that y'all was forcing, or was it just their defense?
I know that. that's something you have to come back to me with so I can think about that. But yeah, I don't know. I thought we were still in the game despite the turnovers. So.
Drew, what got you going in the second quarter? Because you really caught fire, and then you picked it up again in the second half as well.
Ball movement mixed with pace, mixed with I think they had Omer set some good screens, got me open, switched on to the big, and at that point, I think every guard in this league would say he'd rather go against a big than a guard. So at that point, the rim just kind of opened up, and from there, it was going in.
How important is it for this team for you and Etwan to kind of score the way you have these past few games?
Right. I think it's really big. I think it brings a boost to the first.
That's Drew Holiday talking about his game against the Golden State Warriors. Drew had 34 points in that contest. Of course, the top scorers for the Pelicans outside of Drew Holiday's 34 was 27 from Etwan more. So I give him a shout out. Etwan had 27 in the game. Besides the 19 from Cousins, 11 from Cunningham, and even Rajon Rondo's 10 points and 11 assists. So Rajon Rondo turning up his production in the absence of Drew Holiday, with Anthony Davis out of the game. Also, there was an ejection in this game. DeMarcus Cousins got into it with Kevin Durant, and the referees threw both their butts out of there. And that's something that if you're at home, you're DeMarcus Cousins, you can't always. I know they beating the hell out of you. You know what I'm saying? The same type of stuff I seen happen to DeMarcus Cousins, I seen happen to Shaquille O'Neal when Shaq played. But you have to handle it a lot better than what you're handling it. Well, after that loss to Golden State, Cousins comes back and he hangs 40 points up on the small ball playing Denver Nuggets, who started Kenneth Faried at the center position against DeMarcus Cousins. Come on, that's like Shaq say, barbecue chicken. At the end of the game, Cousins put up 40 points. He had 22 rebounds in 40 minutes. That's what kind of game that a star like DeMarcus Cousins is supposed to have. And let's see what Coach Gentry chimes in. Actually, let's see what the boogeyman himself have to say after that Nuggets.
I'm trying to win the game. Not really focus on the numbers, but we got to win. So that's all that matters.
What changed defensively in the second half? It seemed like it was a track meet, and then you guys were able to get some stops and pull away.
It was a track meet. I think in the first half, I think we kind of got sucked into, playing that style of play, which is, just trying to outscore one another. And, we came in at half and said, the first team to just play a little bit of defense to be the team to win the game. So I think we came out, and also we were aware of how, our struggles coming out after the second half. So, we just tried to come out, be aggressive, and jump on it early. And I think we did a good job of doing that.
DeMarcus Cousins, big game, man. Played a real big game. Also, big ups to Drew Holiday in this game as he continued to play very well in the last few games. 27 points for Drew Holiday. He had 7 assists in this game. 14 points from Etwan Moore, who continued to really step up his game as well. Darius Miller has been having 9 points, averaging almost double figures in his few contests as well off the bench. Rajon Rondo continues to step up his production, had another 11-point high assist game, had several assists as well in this contest in the game. But I expected DeMarcus Cousins to do what he did. They didn't have a center. Nikola Jokic was not in this game. He was hurt. He had a bad ankle, so he didn't play. So the middle was wide open, and DeMarcus Cousins took full advantage of it, and I expect him to do. And here's Elvin Gentry, what he thought after the win.
Yeah, I thought we played well for the most part, but obviously we had some peaks and valleys. But against that team, I think you're gonna do that. They're very good offensively. And then we tried to do some things too early, I thought, offensively on our end. And when we started to guard and started to run on misses instead of makes, I think that's when we were able to get a lot going offensively.
Coach, what do you feel about DeMarcus Cousins' night tonight?
I thought he played well. I mean, I know you guys look at the 40 points, but he was really good defensively, I thought. And that's what we needed for him to be is we know that the points and everything are there, but I thought he did a great job in the screening roles, and this is what they really hurt us with the last time. I thought he did a good job, rebounding the basketball, obviously, and he also did a good job of moving it on to the next guy, and especially in the low post, thought he did a good job when they doubled him. He got rid of it, a couple of baskets I thought he made, but hey, that's the way it is.
Alvin, you've wanted to be better in the second half of games. Were you tonight, and why?
Well,
it's Coach Al Gentry, man, giving us take in there. And in this game, dealing with the Denver Nuggets, they were able to defeat them 123-114. The Pelicans did shoot 53.5% in this game. They were 38%, almost 39% from downtown. Only turned the ball over 13 times, which is low for the Pelicans. I rebounded them 59-50 down the road, but the Pelicans actually played pretty well. They dominated them in the points in the paint, 56-44. And like I said, they kept the turnovers relatively low, shot a high percentage. DeMarcus Cousins walks away with a huge win here. Big game, big time for the Pelicans on there as they get to 13-2 once again. Sole position of the Southwest standings. Houston sitting up there on a 7-game winning streak at 18-14. San Antonio at 17-8 with 2-game winning streak. Then the Pelicans are pretty much they're going to be sitting in the center there for a while because the next team underneath them, Memphis, is 8-16, and then Dallas is 7-18, and both of those guys just lost one. So the Pelicans entrenched right there, averaging 109.4 a game while giving up 110.2. That's why they're all a 500 team. You can't do that. The statistics lie to you sometimes and tell you the truth, and most times I'm not a believer in saying that the statistics never lie. They'll lead you in directions sometimes that you don't need to go, but that's a very clear indication of where the team is when you score 109 a game, which is good for 6th in the NBA, and then you lose. When you allow teams to score, it's 110.2, which is good for 27, which is three from the bottom, and that's the reason why they're 13-12. But anyway, that's going to mark toward the end of our show. The next up-and-coming game that the Pelicans have is Friday at the Smoothie King Center. They take on the Sacramento Kings in the matchup. The Kings coming into the game, I expect Anthony Davis not to play in this game. From what we're hearing, he's going to be out a few games more. But this is definitely DeMarcus Cousins' territory to take over. He's going to get an opportunity to go against his former team in New Orleans. I expect for him to totally dominate this team and blow out fashion. Pelicans get a couple of wins to get to 14-12 on the year. So that's just my take on it, on that particular game. So thank you for listening to a jam-packed Pelican post-game report today, covering 4 games and previewing 1. Thank you for listening. Go to the Posh Lifestyle, theposhlifestyle.com. and support our sponsors or donate to our help build our platform at www.patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Thank you for listening. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out theposhlifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. POSHLYFESTYLE.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide, offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.